It's time for the Jesse T Show on Memorial Day weekend. It's Memorial Day Monday, the 28th of May. Thank you very much. Sometimes I get my months mixed up. It's good to have you back with me, Jesse T. The Brown Beauty is back on duty. We are on the air and everywhere from the community to the world, broadcasting live right now on Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero, Instagram Live, Periscope Live Stream, Twitter, LinkedIn, Blogger, and so many others. Good to have you here on thepowerofvoices.com. Where are we, you might be asking? Yes, I'm in a foggy place in Southern California, down by the coastline, and we're going to kind of walk over here a little bit because it's a special event that we're out here covering today. We are at one of the most infamous ships of all time, one of our greatest country warships of all time, the USS Iowa. That's right. It's called the Big I. Now look at that, man. We're going to be boarding that, the battleship Iowa. We're going to be up there talking to dignitaries as they bring on Memorial Day here at 10 to 10:15. The presentations will start, the music, etc., and the color guard. It's going to be an exciting event, guaranteed to be packed, so we want you to stick around and stay with us here. We'll be coming on and off the air here momentarily, not going to be broadcasting live to 10 o'clock, but I do want to talk to some people when I approach the ship. So this is Jesse T. Good to have you along with me. Hopefully you're enjoying your Memorial weekend and your Memorial Day. Of course, a 3-day holiday throughout this great nation, the United States of America, and a day to celebrate and remember those that have fallen for our rights to live here in this great country, the greatest country that God ever made on God's blue-green earth through history, now and forever. The United States of America, and many men and women have shed their blood, given their lives for us to be able to do what we're doing today. That's you, me, and our families, and this great place that we call home. Memorial Weekend is one of the most somber weekends to memorialize the military personnel who have served in all theaters of war and combat here for the United States of America. And of course, the battleship that we're about ready to enter and walk up the plank, so to speak, is a battleship that was designed and created for the Battle of World War II. And World War II, of course, was the attack on Pearl Harbor, and we fought Germany, and we fought Italy, and we also fought the Japanese here as World War II began. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was, of course, the president of the time. So it's good to kind of remember the fellas and the women that served in World War II. So we're going to enter the battleship Iowa. It's called the Big I, and the Big I was one of the ships that were actually destroyed at Pearl Harbor, but they refitted it and rebuilt it and created this ship to sail out there and attack in the Pacific Ocean. And it saw many, many, many hours and many tours of duty. And the battleship is a beautiful representation of the power and strength of America. So we're going to enter the battleship right now and kind of walk on board here and see what we can do and see who we can talk to here on the USS Iowa. But first off, I do want to catch up.
Sure, guys. Meeting in the wardroom right now.
I do want to catch up with a couple of people here. We got to see if we can find our representative who is going to be handling our presentation here and get us around the Iowa. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to walk up and enter the ship right now as security is making sure that we are okay to enter the ship. Okay, here we go, guys. The USS Iowa, the Big I here, one of America's greatest battleships. And the reason why it's battleships, the armor is almost 2 feet thick in some places. Now I'm going to kind of change the angle of this camera a little bit so you can kind of see what's happening here on this ship as we enter. You can see these big, huge guns here, and these battleships were fitted with many, many cannon and guns like this. You've got 2, 4, 6 right here, just within 75 feet of each other. And if you can imagine these things shooting all at once. And when it was refitted in the 1980s under President Reagan, it was refitted with cruise missiles. And you can see the canisters for the cruise missiles right there. And this ship really saw a lot of war and a lot of theater, a lot of action in World War II. And it was then refitted during the President Reagan's time, when he refitted several United States battleships to increase our fleet. And they're even considering refitting a few of these battleships now for the reason to cover the electromagnetic gun, which is the rail gun. Now, these are the big guns right here, and you can see the size of these 16-inch guns. They're absolutely huge. It's unbelievable how huge these weapons are. As we walk on the ship, a lot of people don't realize that the ship's deck is made of wood. The wood is very supple when it gets wet. It moves and creaks, and the older ships, like the aircraft carriers, were made of these wood planks. Wood looks like just like this. You can kind of see how the wood of these planks are very thick, almost like 2x4s. But these are treated wood for water and treated for salt water. Now look at the size of this gun here. So we're just gonna kind of take you a quick little tour here, and then we're gonna shut down and come back at you as we talk to some folks here. We begin our excursion on the USS Iowa, BB-61. So the size of these cannons, look at how huge they are. Now, you've seen video online on Google and YouTube. You've seen video when these are firing, and they're firing all at once. They can fire all three at the same time. They can fire everything at the same time, and the shock wave that goes through this ship is unbelievable. This is the size of the bullet, the missile, the cannon that shoots this is right above me. Unbelievable, isn't it? So aboard the USS Iowa today, we're going to be here all day long, bringing you live footage of the USS Iowa and the presentation here on Memorial Day 2018. What a pleasure it is to be out here. And we'll be bringing you dignitaries and some very important people to talk to here momentarily. If you can just kind of look at the guns here. Look at the size of these guns. When you see the old pictures of the guys sitting on these guns, straddling them like horses, you can see why now, how huge they are. And kind of a starboard look here from back to front. And I'm still walking on the ship. This is the back end of the ship here, the USS Iowa. All right, so just a couple of things to talk about here. At about 10 to 10:15, we're going to be going live and taking some of the feed from the speeches and the music and the color guard that's going to be opening up here for their Memorial Day celebrations, honoring our fallen heroes and our heroes' families here in the United States of America. What a pleasure. The United States Navy. My father served in Korea on the USS Lexington, flying planes off the USS Lexington in the South China Sea. My grandfather served in World War II, WW2, in Panama, dredging and making sure the Panama Canal stayed clear of Japanese U-boats on the Pacific side and German U-boats on the Atlantic side. And so my family has served in those theaters of war. I, unfortunately, for me, did not have the opportunity to serve and chose to take my professional career in another direction. I was coming towards Vietnam very quickly in 1973. I was 13 years old when the Vietnam War ended. Unfortunate, I say, is because in many cases it would have been terrific to serve at some branch of the United States military, and volunteered my actions after Vietnam when it became a volunteer military. And I've thought over the years of joining the National Guard, which I haven't, but I certainly have honored and respected my family's price that was paid for us to live in this great country, and yours too. Love the U.S. military. And we're aboard the Battleship Iowa, the Big I, as they said during World War II. Saying hi to Sabrina Ann Hall, saying hi to Scott and Grotti, Louis Di Stefano. Hey man, good to have you guys around with me. Appreciate that. And we're going to be broadcasting live here all morning. Right now we're going to go on a search for some commanders, retired commanders. And as we bring you more video here and more live video on Facebook.com, Instagram, and YouTube Live here on the Battleship Iowa BB-61 here in San Pedro, Los Angeles. This is Jesse Terrero for KTN TV, radio, broadcasting, and podcasting. It's the Jesse T Show. We'll be back with you in just a few.